Chapter 1. D'Artagnan. The young man riding into the small French town of Meung that April morning in 1625 made the citizens stop their work and stare in amazement. The man had to be from Gascony in southern France, for only a Gascon would have the boldness to be seen on such an old, ridiculous-looking pony. It had a yellowy-orange coat and a tail with no hair. It seemed so ashamed of its appearance that it walked with its head lower than its knees. But young D'Artagnan of Gascony sat on its back proudly. He was on his way to Paris to join the king's Musketeers, those bold, courageous soldiers who guarded King Louis XIII of France. D'Artagnan carried with him 3 gifts from his father: a purse containing 15 crowns of gold, a sword which had been in his family for generations, and a letter of introduction to Monsieur de Treville, the captain of the king's Musketeers. But D'Artagnan also carried with him his father's parting words. "My son," he had said, "I have taught you how to handle a sword well. You must never draw back from a duel. You must be brave, for 2 reasons. You are a Gascon, and you are my son." His father's words still rang in his ears as D'Artagnan climbed down from his pony, at the inn of the Jolly Miller in Meung. 3 men standing at the front door glanced at him, then looked back a second time. All 3 burst into laughter. "I say, sir," said D'Artagnan, approaching the men, "tell me what you are laughing at, and we will laugh together." The tallest of the 3, a dark-haired nobleman with a patch over one eye and a scar on his cheek, looked from the pony to its master. "I am not speaking to you, sir," he said with a sneer. "But I am speaking to you," cried D'Artagnan, angrily. The nobleman ignored D'Artagnan, but pointed to the pony and whispered something to his friends. All 3 laughed again. D'Artagnan drew his sword and cried, "Gentlemen, you laugh at a pony, but you dare laugh at its master." "No one tells me when to laugh," said the nobleman. "I laugh when I please." With that, he turned to enter the inn. But D'Artagnan was not the sort of man to let someone laugh at him and escape. He ran after the man, shouting, "Turn around, sir, or I shall strike you from behind." The man whirled around and drew his sword, but at the same moment his 2 friends came at D'Artagnan with sticks and shovels. One heavy blow opened a large gash in his head, and another knocked him unconscious. The innkeeper sent 2 of his servants to carry the wounded young man inside. As they placed him on the bed, a letter fell out of his pocket. The innkeeper picked it up and saw that it was addressed to the captain of the Musketeers. "Perhaps the nobleman outside would be interested in this," he murmured. And the nobleman was. "What business can that boy have with my enemy?" he exclaimed in surprise. "Well, my business here with Milady is more important right now. I shall look into this letter later." Meanwhile, D'Artagnan had regained consciousness and staggered to the door. He saw the nobleman talking to a beautiful young woman seated in an elegant carriage. The man's words reached D'Artagnan's ears. "The cardinal has ordered you to return to England at once, Milady. Be at the court often, and let him know if the Duke of Buckingham leaves London." "I understand," replied the woman, "but you must leave quickly too. The least delay, such as that young man, can ruin our plans." The nobleman leapt on his horse and galloped off in the direction of Paris. "Come back, coward!" cried D'Artagnan, running out the door, but his wounds had left him too weak to take more than a few steps. As he stumbled back to the inn, he wondered what the mysterious conversation meant. The cardinal they had talked about had to be the Cardinal Richelieu, the powerful man who really ruled France, and the Duke of Buckingham, why, he was the Prime Minister of England, the real power behind King Charles I. Was a war being planned between the 2 countries? He would find out when he reached Paris. The next morning, as D'Artagnan was dressing to continue his journey, he discovered that his letter to Monsieur de Treville was missing. He burst in furiously on the innkeeper, and demanded to know where it was. "Oh, monsieur," said the frightened man, "it was that stranger you challenged to a duel. He stole your letter while you were unconscious." "The scoundrel! I shall report him to Monsieur de Treville when I reach Paris." D'Artagnan rode out of Meung muttering, "He shall be punished. That nobleman with the black patch has not seen the last of D'Artagnan of Gascony."